Once upon a time, a good, intelligent, and fair king decided it was time to settle accounts with his servants. So he summoned them in one by one to settle things. Now one servant entered, owing the king a large sum. He could never repay it, not even in 100 lifetimes. So according to the law, the king might have sold the man, his wife, and everything he owned to repay a fraction of his debt. The terrified servant went to his knees and pleaded for patience. "I pledge to repay everything. Please be patient with me. I'll pay back everything, I promise." Of course, the king knew the man couldn't possibly pay it back, but something in the servant's voice moved him. Perhaps it was the look in his eyes. Perhaps the king's heart was simply filled with compassion. So the king did something unexpected. He didn't give him more time. He erased the debt entirely, gone. Just like that. "You're free," the king said. "Your debt is forgiven." Can you imagine the relief? The joy? That servant must have floated out of the palace with a heart full of gratitude, right? Well, not quite. No sooner had he left the palace than he ran into a fellow servant, a guy who owed him a small amount of money, maybe a few $100. Not nothing, but nothing compared to what he had just been forgiven. Instead of showing mercy, the first servant grabbed the guy by the collar and shouted, "Pay me what you owe." The second servant fell to his knees, just like he had done earlier. "Please," he pleaded, "be patient with me. I'll pay you back, I promise." Sound familiar? But this time there was no compassion, no pause, no forgiveness. The first servant had the man thrown into prison until the debt was paid. Now, some other servants saw this happen. They were shocked, outraged, even. They went straight to the king and told him everything. The king called the first servant back in. "You wicked servant," he said, his voice now full of sorrow and anger. "I forgave you all that debt because you begged me to. Shouldn't you have had mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had mercy on you?" And with that, the king handed him over to be punished until his debt was paid in full. And then Jesus, who was telling this story, looked at the people around him and said, "This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you unless you forgive your brother or sister from your heart."